Greetings, Guardians of Dominion. Zeus here with another enlightening video. Today we're diving into Lyria, and I'm going to share 3 powerful tips that can help you unlock her full potential. Whether you've just added her to your team or you're still figuring out the best way to use her, these tips will give you the edge you need to control battles and dominate your opponents. Let's get started. First tip. While it's true that Lyria has the potential to deal high damage on her own, that's not where her full power shines. Her main role in hero wars is not to carry the team by herself, but to create the perfect environment for your marksmen and warriors to dominate the fight. Her core mechanic revolves around reducing dodge, which is one of the key defensive stats that many strong enemies rely on. The moment Lyria steps into battle and starts applying her dodge reduction, your physical damage dealers immediately gain a massive advantage, landing almost every hit, and unleashing their maximum damage potential without being blocked or avoided. But it doesn't stop there. Lyria's artifact adds even more value to this setup. By providing additional armor penetration, she allows your physical heroes to cut through enemy defenses even faster. Every basic attack, every critical strike, every burst of physical damage becomes more lethal because the enemy can't dodge and has less armor to protect them. The beauty of Lyria is her ability to fit into so many team compositions. She works not only with pure marksman or warriors teams but also with hybrid builds where you have mixed physical threats. This flexibility allows you to adapt your team to different opponents while still keeping Lyria as the center of your support strategy. In most cases, when you build around Lyria properly, you don't just create a strong team, you create a team that's capable of ending battles quickly before the enemy even has time to fully respond. Second tip. It's not enough just to place Lyria with physical damage dealers, you also need to support both her and her allies properly to unlock the full potential of the team. Since Lyria works best with marksmen and warriors, your main goal is to boost their physical attack and critical hit stats, which allows them to fully capitalize on the opportunities that Lyria creates by reducing dodge and armor. This is where strong support heroes like Sebastian and Nebula come into play. In most cases, I see Sebastian as the key supporter in these compositions. His artifact, the Old Loot, instantly increases the critical hit chance for your entire team. On top of that, his skill battle song further boosts that critical hit chance, allowing your damage dealers to land critical strikes much more frequently. And as you know, critical hits don't just add a little extra damage, they double the physical damage output of your heroes, turning every attack into a serious threat that can wipe out enemies much faster. But it doesn't stop there. Once the critical hits start landing consistently, Sebastian's skill striking solo adds bonus pure damage to every critical hit. This pure damage completely ignores enemy armor and resistances, allowing your team to hit even the most heavily defended opponents for massive additional damage. In some situations, Sebastian can boost your team's damage output up to 5 times higher than their natural potential, simply by combining critical hit mechanics with pure damage. That's why proper support is not optional when using Lyria, it's absolutely essential if you want to reach the highest damage possible, and dominate your opponents before they have a chance to stabilize. The third tip is pets and war flag. When it comes to pet patronage, Lyria has access to 3 different options. And honestly, you don't need to go too deep into complicated analysis to figure out which pet works best, the choice is usually very straightforward based on how you plan to use her. Fenris is the primary pet for most situations. He boosts Lyria's physical attack and armor penetration, which directly increases her damage output and enhances her ability to support physical teams. On top of that, Fenris adds his blind effect through patronage, giving Lyria extra control by reducing the accuracy of enemy heroes. This can turn the tide of battle, especially against physical teams that rely heavily on their basic attacks. However, things change when you want to use Lyria as a frontline hero or even as a tank. In those situations, survivability becomes the priority. And to keep Lyria alive long enough to do her job, you need Oliver. His patronage boosts her health and healing received, allowing her to stay in battle longer and absorb more damage while still supporting the team. So, if you're running a formation where Lyria is directly in the front line without a traditional tank ahead of her, Oliver is the pet you must use. Then there's Biscuit. Biscuit isn't typically your first option for Lyria, but there are certain situations where it fits perfectly. For example, if you've already assigned Fenris to Kira or any other main damage dealer, and you don't have Oliver available because another hero is using him, you can place Biscuit on Lyria as a secondary option. Biscuit's skill still offers utility by reducing enemy healing, which can help against teams that rely on sustain. But if Fenris is available, for example, if you're using Vex with Kira, and freeing up Fenris, then always prioritize Fenris for Lyria, as his patronage directly enhances her skills. Now let's talk about the war flag. The best war flag to pair with Lyria is the war flag of Swift Warriors. This flag increases the activation speed of warriors, allowing your team to unleash their attacks even faster. When setting up this war flag, I recommend focusing on physical attack and armor penetration patterns as your primary choices. These two stats directly support Lyria's role and amplify the entire team's damage. For the third slot, you have several options depending on your team composition and opponent. You can choose a defensive pattern like armor or magic defense to add durability. You can also go with the accuracy pattern, which helps drop even more dodge from enemies, especially useful if you're facing heroes like Dante with Nebula or Yasmin, where additional dodge reduction can make a big difference. And finally, don't forget the new critical hit defense pattern, which reduces the enemy's critical hit chance and gives your team extra safety against high-burst teams. Selecting the right war flag setup allows you to fine-tune Lyria's role depending on the battle you're facing. And that wraps up our deep dive into Lyria. As you can see, her true power is not just about her own damage but about how she enables your entire team to reach their full potential. When you combine her dodge reduction, armor penetration, proper support from heroes like Sebastian and Nebula, the right pet patronage, and an optimized war flag setup, Lyria becomes an essential part of any strong physical team. The key is to understand her role and build your strategy around it. Now, I want to hear from you. How are you using Lyria in your teams? Have you found any special combinations or strategies that work particularly well? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your feedback always helps not just me, but the whole Hero Wars community grow stronger. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep improving your teams, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any of my upcoming guides, tips, and strategies. We have a lot more exciting content coming, and you won't want to miss it. Until next time, Guardians, keep testing, keep improving, and as always, salute and friendship.